is to explain to you a little bit more about Round the Clock Trader, a little bit more about myself, how these webinar events all came about, and what sort of other events that we do, and just to, more importantly, introduce you to our Round the Clock Trader Elite Club, which is where we have a whole host of features: daily analysis, education, tutorials, briefings, indicators. The list is long. It's a very comprehensive package for you to have at your side, equip you to go out and make sense of the markets and become a more profitable trader. So let me go straight into a quick slide presentation, which will give you some introductions, and then I'm pleased to say I'm going to bring in our Head of Education, Luke Connolly, in just a little while, and he will explain through the more technical aspects of the analysis that we're producing for you in the club. So just a bit about me. Welcome. Simon Campbell, Scottish, born in Edinburgh, lived in London, Barcelona, Marbella, and are currently in the Channel Islands, where it is pouring down with rain. I am married, 2 lovely children, Harry and Eva, and I do invest and trade. I'm a regulated person to the level 4 standard, which allows me to give financial advice. And I did that while I was working as the managing director at Vectorvest. Get onto that in just a second. Incredibly, 25 years in the investment and training industry, straight into Bell Laurie White Stockbrokers out of school in Edinburgh, learned about the back office goings on of our traditional stockbroker, went into training for profit business with my sister, training private investors across the UK. Subsequently, that business was sold in 2000, launched my own business, the Information Exchange, and produced 7 or 8 years of financial expos in London for the retail traders market. Through doing the shows, I became friendly with a company called Vectorvest, big American retail software analysis system. And they subsequently asked me if I would launch the business for them in the UK and become their UK MD, and that business still goes strong nowadays under the stewardship of Dr. David Paul, who we've had on already this week, and a regular contributor he is to the shows. Set up my own business again, IX Media Limited, entrepreneur that I am, and through IX Media we have launched the Round the Clock Trader brand. So what is Round the Clock Trader exactly? Well, you know what it is because you're here, and I'm pleased to say we provide webinar events and education and shows for yourself, the home trader, the home investor. And we've brought together currently managing a list of about 20,000 traders. We all have the common goal, like myself, which is to try and improve the trading results, make it a little bit more fun, of course, and constantly keep that education evolvement going. So the training never stops, in my opinion. I think you should continually self-develop and keep yourself up to date with not only the ups and downs of the market, but also the new strategies and products and everything that becomes available to stay on top of these fast-moving markets. I set up RTCT to reduce the barriers for us to access quality education. I was a bit fed up with so many companies offering undervalued training courses at very overvalued prices, doing it with very strong-armed, high-pressure sales tactics as well. I thought it was time for us to be able to do this in a better way and democratize the education for traders, and I think that we've largely achieved that. This is year number 6 of running Round the Clock Trader events, and we get a great following, and thanks to people like you coming on and helping us to do it. It is a good opportunity to connect traders with the industry and to connect industry with traders. And I make no hide no fact that I do have some partnerships with some of the companies and speakers that I present, but I always try to make sure that they are of a trustworthy background and are good educators and have the trader and educator at heart first, as opposed to cold hard profits, of course. So I try to work with people that I like, and that has kept us all in good company thus far, avoiding the more sharky type people that gravitate towards the Forex market, as you know. So since 2014, we've been doing lots and lots and lots of webinars, lots of email marketing. We try and keep you in touch with email newsletters. We've won the best Forex webinar provider, the London Forex Show, which I was very pleased about. And our mission going forward from here, where are we going from here, is to continually educate you and provide all sorts of different resources for educating traders and investors, providing you not only with the strategies and the tools and the know-how, but also building on top of that and giving you a valuable market knowledge and guidance that you can use in your daily trading. So exposing you to new ideas, tools and services. Yep, it's very important, I think, for us always to not become too lazy with our particular resources and parts that we use. There's new stuff coming onto the market all the time. Whether you take it up or not, it's entirely up to yourself, but I think it's important just to know what's available out there now. What is the Online Summit? You're on it. This is it, and it's been great fun. Really enjoyed this whole week. It's a live experience, and I think that is what sets us apart from some other events where you might discover halfway through the webinar that you've actually listened to a recording, which is not much fun because you can't ask a recording questions. But my commitment to you is that we do these things live. I'm here live, and our speakers all are here live to provide you with that interaction and engagement with the questions. So yeah, it's been a great event, this 4th to the 8th of February event. Live trading, we've seen that, lots of different lessons, multiple speakers. Of course, it's been a joy to bring this event to you. What else do? We do a live show at the Grand Connaught Rooms in London, just up the road from Covent Garden, between Covent Garden and Holborn. Fabulous venue there. It's a one-day trading conference where we invite many of the speakers that you've heard this week on the webinar, different seminars happening across multiple different rooms, a whole networking and exhibitor lounge, panel sessions. It's all there, and there's a few pictures from the last event that we did. There's a Rishi and Taru from Master of the Markets, George, of course, that we just heard this morning from Traders Class. There was him. Many of the speakers will take a little table like this, so you can come and chat to them, just find out more, and have that face-to-face contact, which is great. So our RTC Elite members will get VIP access, save a £75 ticket. You'll get lunch, refreshments, and access to the speakers lounge, so you can hang out with all the speakers there. So I wanted to quickly go on to share with you some of what I consider the most common issues and complaints that I hear from traders, and these tend to fall into these following categories. Time being an issue. I don't have time to trade every day. This is why we're trying to provide you with the right strategies and risk management to allow you not to have to sit at a computer every day, all day. There are people that choose to do that and do it very profitably, but I don't want you thinking that that is what it requires of you to be a profitable trader. It just relies on you to identify the right strategies to allow you to continue living your life in conjunction with trading. It's too complicated. It might be for some, but for most people, once you get into it, give yourself a chance to learn and start out with the ability to say, I can do this, all these other people can do it, I can do it as well. People are guilty in trading education, I think, in some quarters, of overcomplicating the whole process, and it can be quite daunting to see a chart thrown up on the screen with all sorts of arrows and moving averages here and all sorts of things, and you think, I'm never going to understand what this is. We're great fans of trying to keep it simple, and I think if you can keep it simple as well, you will find that it's not as complicated as it is. It's as complicated as you want it to be. So I need a larger account size to get started. More and more, it's starting to suggest if you can start with a bigger account, then you're going to have a better chance of surviving the inevitable drawdowns that trading in the financial markets. You're not going to win, and every trade is going to be profitable. But you have to start out knowing that there's going to be some losing trades, and you're going to lose a bit of money. The key is to be able to obviously identify quickly which trades are going against you, and stopping these ones while letting the winning trades continue to run. So even if 7 or 8 of your trades are losers, if you let the 2 or 3 that are winners run, then you can be a profitable trader. You don't necessarily need a huge account, but I think we need to be realistic about the amount of margin that nowadays that brokers require you to trade with, and make an understanding of how many trades that would allow you to actually physically put on. So it's arithmetic at the end of the day, and it comes down to having a proper trade plan sketched out before you go into the markets. I know I'm preaching to the converted for most of you in the room because you are a fairly sophisticated crowd, but for those of you that are new, this might be hopefully interesting and of value to you. The brokers work against me. This is a typical phrase that people new into trading will hear. And of course, at least I'm scratching their head thinking, hang on, the broker's supposed to be working for me. What does this mean? This refers to what you call B-book trading, where brokers will be able to see the large amount of trades that their retail customers are putting on, and they will hedge that and put on opposite trades. I don't think it's as bad as people have made out. I think the brokers have suffered from this when this sort of escaped out, and that they do this. I don't think it was ever an intentional thing, and I still don't know how much it actually affects your own trading, how much it will affect the prices. But of course, if you're dealing with spread betting firms, the prices that they can set their own prices, you're not necessarily going to get exactly the same price as you will at the exchange. So just to be aware that they set their own market there. It's too risky. If you find it too risky, clearly you shouldn't be doing it. There is risk involved inherently in any sort of trading activity or investing. The amount of risk that you want to take is a question for you to undertake, and it's one that you can work out with a special financial advisor, someone that knows your own financial position. But you have to go in with the understanding that without any risk, you won't be getting any return either. So it's the old saying, no risk, no return. But it's something for you to bear in mind as you go into trading. I make money trading a demo account, but I've never traded live, or when I have traded live, it's very different results, and that is very typical of everybody. I think you start out trading as a demo account trader, and very quickly you're heading towards the first deposit on your Ferrari, but of course you put the real money in, and things go drastically differently, and that is because you are playing with a real live account with real money, and your decision-making process is vastly different when you know it's real money at stake, particularly if you're trading leveraged and it can go very quickly against you. So you have to be careful. Understand that a demo account's good for practicing, getting to know your way around the platform, not necessarily the best indicator of how successful a trader you're going to be in the short term. And finally, yeah, people sometimes say there's too many strategies. How on earth do I know which one is the best one for me? Again, this is a process of education, and it's a process of understanding yourself as a trader, what you want to get out of it, and understanding then once you know what you're trying to achieve, you'll be able to very quickly recognize a strategy which appeals to you and speaks to you in a way that you understand. So moving on to the more successful side of what do the successful traders do? There's lots of common habits, I would say, of successful traders. I'm trying to distill it into just a few of the most common ones. And I mentioned the trade plan. It's something that comes up again and again. And for the next summit that we do, I'm going to make sure we have a special session on just how to build your trade plan. Just let's look at some of the trade plans of the traders and see what they do, what they record, how they record it, and why they find it so useful to refer to it all the time. I mentioned the target of having the deposit for your first Ferrari in your demo account trading, but it's something that we have to be realistic about when we start trading. Set realistic targets and understand that you're not going to win all the trades, but if you can achieve your realistic targets, then you can move on and push the limits a bit more as you go on and get more confident and get more accomplished as a trader. Specialization in a few markets, much better to understand much more about a few markets and how they behave and how they are impacted by big news events, as opposed to being an amateur in a wide array of markets. Self-evident there to know that when something's going to happen, how it's going to affect the prices in a market, so you can capitalize on that. Number 4, reading the charts. I think we're all technical analysts here, so you'll all agree with me. It's a good skill to have, and tricky, actually, not as easy as it perhaps at first appears. We've already looked at lots of different charts this morning, and it is easy to pull out charts from great winning trades and look, if I bought there and I sold there and I made a profit. Of course, it's easy to read successful trades in the past. It's not so easy when you are looking at this chart on the screen sometimes to cast it forward. When I was with Vertivest, doing a lot of seminars explaining the way the platform worked, I used to always get a lot of questions from people who said, well, hang on, how do you know? Look at that chart there, where we are now. It's right up at the top of the screen, and look, it's come from the bottom left of the chart to the top right, so it can't go any further. It must turn around and start coming back down. It was I used to say, well, we are zoomed in on only a few months, and if you could zoom back and have a much bigger screen inside the wall, you would see that the price indeed could keep going up to the right. So simple mistakes when using charts. Don't get too bogged down. Pull back a little bit, and make sure you can see the wood and the trees. Switch off the CNBC. Don't get yourself all distracted by constant news flow, speculation, and what's happening. The news channels need to fill the channels. Find yourself a good broker. Yes, someone's just mentioned Oanda. They're offering trades, I think, for one pence. I'm sorry, I can't see the questions as clearly as I can when I've got the slides up in front of me. But yes, I mean, price is not necessarily the only criteria. I think when finding a good broker, to make sure that they offer you the trades in the markets you want to trade in is obviously quite important as well, and that they are robust and reliable, and always better to find a broker who is regulated ideally in the UK if we're UK brokers, UK based, and covered by the Financial Ombudsman's scheme there. So you have some recourse should the broker have a problem, let's say. Find a good mentor. I think mentors provide a great service to greater or lesser extent, depending on what you need. There are a tremendous amount of people in the industry. A lot of trading educator mentors. They suffer from people saying, "Why are you trading?" If the old adage, if you those that can do, those that can't teach, it's not true. They're in trading. It can be a lonely business, and a lot of the mentors turn to trading education, not only because there is a social side to it, it allows you to connect with other traders. It feels good to share that knowledge that they've got. It also helps them to reaffirm their trading and their strategies and their planning, to be teaching it to someone else. So there are some good reasons for good traders and mentors out there. Join a club for the same reasons. Share and don't be lonely when you're trading. There's plenty of clubs online, WhatsApp groups. You need to be able to brag about your winning trades and find out and share these experiences with other traders as well. It'll keep you going, keep you motivated in the market. Now, we've all seen the expensive courses advertised. Are they worth it? No, I don't think so. Some will be tremendous, and for very high level mentoring, some people would find it invaluable, particularly if they're already in the market and they understand what they're looking for from a particular tutor or mentor. But on the whole, if you're coming new into trading, with anything between a £5,000 to £10,000 account that you think I can afford to put this money at risk, I would like to learn the business of being a financial trader. I wouldn't recommend that you risk the first 25 to 30% of that on one particular weekend course and expect that to teach you everything you're going to need to know. It just won't. You can't do that. Experience trading through free low-cost webinars, go to the trade shows, take up all these online courses, which there are, but do make sure that you qualify the online courses with companies that can back it up with real-life tutoring as well. Otherwise, it's still good to read a book, but it doesn't bring it to life. Be aware that the expensive courses will be often preaching one system, and not always one system will fit all. And don't expect every tutor to be a millionaire trader. Again, on the previous slide, I mentioned this, and I truly mean this. Great trading educators are not always great traders themselves. And this is for all sorts of different psychological reasons, but please don't discount some of the educators because they're not turning up in a Ferrari to the hotel. So what have we done? Round the Clock Trader has been somewhat of a renaissance time. The last few months, we've put together what we call the RTC Elite Club. It's been a club which I have been managing to host the replays of our regular Round the Clock Trader event sessions. And I have failed to bring it properly to people's attention and to make it as accessible as it should be. So when the last few months I've been working with a few of my colleagues to bring it out and actually put all this content into a much more streamlined website, which is much more user-friendly and much more interactive, so that you can search and find the right replay videos that really you're looking for. It's an alternative way to develop you into a consistent profitable trader, round-the-clock trader. We're all about education here. We want to combine that education with the daily service now, which brings you live analysis and live education on a daily basis. It's something which is not been done anywhere in the UK that I'm aware of, certainly in the same form that we're providing it. And it's an extremely low cost and high quality service, and I'm very pleased to be able to be bringing it to you. Let me now turn to our head of education, Luke Connolly, who is responsible largely for our technical side of this daily analysis of which I'm mentioning. Luke, are you there?
Yeah, good afternoon, Simon.
Good afternoon, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, I'm just preparing the background here and explaining that we have this new service online now. Pleased to see that a lot of people have been signing up this week. So thank you for that. If you're one of our new RTC Elite Premium members. Luke, would you like to share screens, or would you like to just comment on the slides that I've got here?
If I give, I can give people the grandeur, so to speak.
Wonderful. So I'll make you the presenter. We'll go over to your screen.
Yep, lovely. There we go. So just to confirm, it's been a while since I've used GoTo. So can everybody see my screen nice and clearly? I haven't cut anything off by accident, have I?
It's looking good to me.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Okay, then. So after you log in, this is the home screen. This is what you will see as an RTC Premium Club member. Now up the top, you can see lots of little buttons. We're going to get to those in a bit, but first of all, what I'm going to do is run through the basic package of what you get when you initially log in. Now every day we have at least one briefing. Now whether or not that's in Americas or a London briefing or an Asia and Pacific's briefing. I'm going to go on to the timetables in just a bit, but when you log in, the first thing that you're going to see is the most up-to-date market briefing. So we can see from today that on the 2nd, it's the 8th of the 2nd, sorry, it's the London market open briefing that's been done by one of our in-house analysts. On the left-hand side here, you've got the on-air section, the newsfeed, the academy, and the risk and sentiment calendar. Now we're going to come on to all of these individually in just a second. Now we have been getting a fair few questions about the functionality of the website, where things live, where things go. So what I'm going to do as I go through this, if you've got any questions about the website, or if you're unsure on where something lives, please let me know and I'll answer them in this session. If we scroll down to the bottom now, you're going to see daily and weekly analytical levels. Now, these are produced daily by our in-house analysts and economists. And I'm just going to open up one or two examples here and give you an example of exactly what we're talking about when we do our daily levels. So you'll see here that we've got a daily level. Now these are written from Sunday to Thursday, so you're kept up to date each and every day about where the market has opened and where the market has closed. These levels are accurate to 91%, and we've been producing them for 4 years now for institutions. So if they're good enough for institutions, hopefully they're good enough for the retail trader. And we like to keep them nice and up to date, and we welcome any feedback. From there, we go on to our weekly level. So this gives you a nice daily perspective. So if you just come in, say let's say you're you're just starting off in trading, you're not entirely sure about where to put your levels. These are a really good guideline to start helping with what institutions use on a daily basis. We've then got our weekly level. So these are uploaded on a Sunday evening. And these are available from around 8 p.m. Sunday evening, pre-market open, and these will be giving you a clear insight of what we could be looking for within individual markets going into the next week. From there, we've got a long-term overview. Now, this is broken up into two specific sections. The first section being the shorter-term market long-term overview, and then we've got a mid-term market overview. So these are done in, just to make this a little bit bigger, you'll see that we've got a 1 month, a 2 month, and a 3 month on our longer term, and on our medium term, you've got a 2 week and a 2-month. That's interesting. Okay, I think 2 week, and a 1 month. Okay, so that's the longer term overview just there. Cool. Okay, and that's we cover six currencies and 2 indices, and these are updated every single day for when the markets are open. So you've got a nice clear insight to the markets going ahead. We then have our calendar, our economics calendar. Now, our economics calendar is tied into our in-house model, and I'm going to come on to that in just a bit. But what makes the round-the-clock traders economics calendar slightly different is that this is tied into our model. So any big releases that are coming through into today, these will not be black. These actually change color, and depending on the impact of the release, it will either be in a amber or a red, and I will come on to that in a bit later, just to show you exactly. Are these levels based on tech with funding? I'm afraid you're going to have to clarify that question a bit for me. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Okay, so moving on. Now, as we go through, everything will start to become a bit clearer. So we're going to click. This is the first tab that we're opening here, the on live and on air tab. Now, within the on live and on air tab, you will see that we have got plenty of live content. Now, everything that you see here, so we have over 19 webinars every single week that are presented live through the presentation software. We kick off on a Sunday evening at 7 o'clock with a weekly economics and market briefing presented by one of our in-house economists and one of our traders. So not only are you getting an economics perspective on the markets, you're also getting a technical perspective where we're looking to bridge that gap. From there, Monday we kick off with an America's briefing at 1300. We then have an America's briefing 4 times a week from Monday to Thursday. So just before the America's session starts, you've got an up-to-date briefing from one of our traders about where the markets are currently sitting. We then continue Monday with a live tutoring session. So this is where you can come in, and this is for the more medium to advanced members. People, anyone who's been around for a little bit longer and knows the basics of the market, but can't quite get that consistent profitability. And what we look to do here is to deliver drill is skill. So the more times that you join these sessions, the more times you're going to get into that process. Because let's face it, with every single person that I've watched this week, there's one clear fact that you've got to have a consistent process. And that's exactly what these sessions are designed to do, is put the emphasis on getting you into that mindset where you follow the same process every single time. We then finish up Monday with an economics and Asia briefing. Once again, it's done with one of our in-house economists and one of our traders. Now, all of these sessions run from Monday to Thursday. For the Americas briefing, the live tutoring session, and the economics and Asia briefing. We then come on to Tuesday where we start our London briefing, so 07:30. So just before the London Open, one of our in-house traders and analysts will be giving you a perspective on where the market currently is and what could potentially happen next. And they run from Tuesday to Friday. We then have our club tutoring session. So this is one of our basic tutoring sessions for those of you who are just starting out their journey, haven't necessarily got the time, still working a 9 to 5 or still working your job, and you want to be able to just take your time and learn the very basics at a nice slow pace. Now, everything that we produce in terms of live content is recorded and then uploaded to the website. So if you're on holiday for a week or two and you want to come back and you just want to catch up with the recording so you don't get left behind, everything is available on the website under the recording section that we will have a look at in just a second. We then come on to our second tab, which is our live news feed. And we can see in here that we, alongside our house analysts posting in relevant market analysis, we've also got a news feed. Now, this news feed is is quite comprehensive. It only really gives us specific highlighted events that we like to keep an eye on, and then you've got a full description about what happens within that event. Now this is quite good. It gets updated as soon as there's a major release come out, and it is programmed to give us an update as soon as the release is ready. From there, we get into our third tab, which is the Academy. Now the Academy is where the course, the RTC Elite course lives. This is coming very, very soon. I've been told by our designers that the introduction to trading will be with us by next week. So all good stuff. And then the technical foundation will be coming next month as soon as the designers have finished making it look all pretty. But now we can have a look down here, and for Simon, where he's been running for 4 years, he's got a big archive of videos. You can come into the RTC Academy and have a look at all the previous videos. So everybody that's been on the summit, all of the videos are nice and categorized now, or you can search by an individual person if you so wish. If not, if you want to have a look at a complete description about, economics and fundamental analysis, you just click on the button and that will take you through to a full list of videos for economics and fundamental analysis, as you can see. And then we come into the bit. Now, this is the bit that we get the most questions on. Now, there's something that I'd like everybody to be nice and aware of, is that this is a visual representation of our economics calendar. So we've got a couple of clever people within the round the clock traders. I'm not one of them, but we've got a couple of clever people in the background. And what we've done over the years is we've built a model whereby we take over 50,000 data points from several different banks all across the world, put it all into the model, and it gives you a visual representation about what's coming ahead in terms of economic news. We then put this into a pressure graph. It's a weighted average, and we get a visual representation about where pressure could be coming through within, or the sentiment could be coming through within a particular currency. Now, that's not to say that it will necessarily pan out like this. If the forecasters are completely wrong, as we've seen a couple of times this year, then the averages aren't going to be wrong. Now, this all gets reviewed by our in-house economist, and if they don't agree with something, this is why we have the evening webinars, we call them. So the Asia and Pacific webinars, where you can actually come and ask one of our in-house economists exactly about the release, whether or not they're trusting the data that's coming through, and how likely the outcome is that we're going to see that sentiment come through within the currency. Now, these are all for basket purposes. So just to clarify what a basket is an individual, bear with me a second, is an individual, I did have it uploaded, I think I've closed it by accident, is an individual instrument. So i.e. the US dollar, the euro, as an individual instrument. We then have up here, you can see that on Tuesday and Friday, these releases in red would have been visual on the economics calendar as well. And it doesn't matter where you are or what you like to trade. We've got the majors. We've then got the Asia Pacific and Europeans, Pacifics and Americas. And then at the end, we've got a little how-to guide. Now, this guide is really comprehensive. It gives you a basic understanding about how the risk and sentiment calendar works. But if you really want to get to know how this can, be of benefit to you, you need to come in and you need to join us, and you need to speak to either, as we're doing it live in the Americas briefing, or you need to come in and go through the course on how to learn to use this. Okay, so any questions? This is the part. I'm just going to pause here for a couple of seconds, because this is the part that normally gets the most questions. No, lovely. Okay, excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Okay, so from there, we've got a couple of other little bits. Now we're going to go back to the home screen, and we're just going to go through exactly how you navigate around the website. So for first off, most of the website is accessible literally through the front end. There is a couple of bits that you may want to have a look at in terms of if you want to have a quick scroll, everything is available from the top, and you can access the market briefings recordings, the live news feed, risk and sentiment, the calendar, and the risk and sentiment calendar live on air. And if you want to catch up with any of the videos, it's all available from the top bar. There we go, lovely. And in here you will have you've got two different recordings. You've got the live tutoring session and the foundation tutoring session, and the last four will be saved. So if you go on holiday for a week, you'll be able to come up and catch up. Okay, from my side, I think that's me, Simon.
Thank you, Luke. Ashley's just asking, did you just say there is some training on the sentiment indicator, and that's something that comes up throughout all the briefings, really. Is there any particular webinar just on that?
The best thing to do is that there's a webinar 5 nights a week from Sunday to Thursday.
Which is
so the evening session, so the Sunday night session or the evening session, so the Asia and economics briefing. Come along, ask the guys who built the model, because they're the economists that built the model are the ones presenting it. So you can ask them directly.
Yeah, and that indicator is referred to all the time throughout everything that we do. So as you rightly say, they're all live briefings, so you can ask the questions, and yeah, that's training, I suppose, of a sort. Thank you very much indeed, Luke. I'm going to take the presenter role back. You're coming back to help this afternoon with
I will see you this afternoon.
Changeover. So at 3 o'clock, folks, it will be Luke's voice, not my own, that you'll hear. He's taking over the decks for an hour. Let me attend an appointment, which is very good of you. I appreciate it. But in the meantime, I will take that presenter role back from you and say thanks for joining us, Luke, and giving us that tour. Bye-bye. So there we are. Thank you for attending. We're just coming up to 1:45. This is the details for the club. Don't forget to use the RTCT 30 code. This is your attendee special offer code. Now, when you log in, some people have been coming back saying it offers me only a 2-day free trial. Everybody gets a 2-day free trial when they subscribe. The RTCT 30 code removes the $14.95 from the first month, so that gives you that's the 30-day trial for free of charge that we're making reference to. Just to be clear, so when you go to the link that I've put in the chat box, I'll copy that again for anybody that didn't get it. You just will choose the premium, or you can choose the free service if you like. But you won't get access to all the briefings and the risk sentiment indicator and all the replays and things like that. You'll get a slimmed down version, useful nonetheless. You'll get the news stream and some weekly overviews. But I encourage you to take up the premium level, and the first thing you do is when you press the sign up button, it will ask you to put the coupon code in and enter that RTCT30, and then follow the details for subscribing either with Skype or Stripe or one of these services, and it will give you that month. So the first thing you want to use it for is for working through all the replays from this fantastic week that we've had so far. So look forward to that. It's 1:45 now. It's a 30-day free trial, Nilesh. It's a 30-day free trial. Forgive me, I think I did have 45 days here earlier, but we've now changed it, so it should be saying a 30-day free trial. So we're quarter to 2 now. We're going to take a quick break, come back to you. Time for us to have a quick coffee or run around the block, and we will reconvene at 2 o'clock for our next speaker, Patrick Manelli, who is the head trader over at Littlefish FX. So stay tuned for some great nuggets on trading psychology. Patrick will cover a lot of these trading tenets and be able to discuss that, and how he looks forward to welcoming you to his prop trading program should you wish to do so. So we'll go on a break now and be back in just under 15 minutes. Thank you. And yes, thank you.